Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry.
Us by far.
I was looking at Kelly's face. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Plug Squad. Yes, we are the Plug Squad, and we are a group of hockey fans. So, allow us to introduce ourselves here. So, I'll start with me. I am Frank. I am a Bruins fan, and my favorite player is Brad the God Marchand, because he is God, the savior of our world. On to you, Braden. Well, tell a little about yourself, bud.
As told by Frank the Tank, I'm Braden. I cheer for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and my favorite player is Leo Komarov.
Hey, I'm Kelly. I also cheer for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and my favorite player right now is Morgan Riley.
Oh. Okay. I'm Chezz. I'm quite the danker, and favorite team's the Islanders there, and John Tavares, OPMF. Okay, to hate all you now.
My favorite team's Toronto Maple Leafs, and yeah, my favorite player is good old Phil Kessel there. Yep. That's
All right.
Us.
So, if you're watching this video, it means that you've navigated to our channel, either through typing in the name a link or by clicking on various related videos to navigate here. Somehow you got here. So,
Or through the Twitter.
Yeah, or that's a link, bud.
That's through the Twitter. The Twitter is the Twitter.
There's a link on the Twitter, though. All right, so you were probably wondering, what will we be doing on this channel? And so we will all be doing a variety of videos like these podcasts. They will most likely be much better than this one you're seeing here.
This is really bad.
We might try to get in a central location. So
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Five different cameras.
If you look at that man, I don't know where on your screen he would be, Braden. He will be doing jerseys videos. As you can see in behind him, he has a wide selection of jerseys. Very, very wide, if you know what I mean. Just a lot. And yeah,
Gaping, if you will.
Chezz, stop!
there's just
I'm gonna have to bleep that out.
and then we each have our own VODs we'll be doing. There will be maybe some Chell playing. There will be some Pondy VODs, maybe some hockey card pack opening type things, updates, fantasy stuff, player tribute arenas, whatever, if it's hockey, we'll do her. So you guys have anything to add before we hop into the podcast? So
Maybe venture a little outside hockey once in a while.
That's just
Yeah, maybe.
Nope.
Maybe.
Nope.
Maybe some of us will.
And we have another danker who's not here, ATM, but he might pop in a couple of VODs named Hayden there. But
Oh yeah,
He's
so
the,
for him, I'll introduce him. His name is Aiden the Dank Wistard, and his favorite player is Mark Mathod.
he's the lone sense fan from us.
So let's start the informative, whichever word you would like to use, portion of the podcast arena. So I think for our first topic, in light of the recent happenings, I think we should talk about John Scott.
of course.
I agree.
So we'll start with Braden. Braden, what's your opinion on the John Scott fiasco?
I'll give my whole rundown of the John Scott story, just from start to finish. From when I started looking into the All-Star voting, I voted a bit off and on every day, and I saw that John Scott had reached the top of the standings, and I thought, oh, this is some kind of joke. So I was taken back by it. I thought, you know what, this is the fans making a mockery of the voting, but then again, it's the NHL letting them doing it by having this voting. Personally, I think it should be the GMs picking two players that they feel should go and represent their team at the All-Star game. I don't think it should be like the fans vote in this guy or that guy because it's going to get out of
Marchand
hand.
can go.
Yeah, like he doesn't deserve to go. So stuff like that's going to happen, right? So that's what I think. But now that John Scott had won and he had been voted in, I think he's got to go. I mean, you can't just kick him off. By the NHL making that trade, just basically what happened there, it's just not fair to John Scott. And like Don Cherry said, you're just making fun of the guy. You're just making a mockery of it. So that's my take.
All right, Kelly Banks, what's your opinion on
Yeah.
on
So-
this?
Very respectable.
Before this went in, I wasn't too fond of John Scott because, well, like Hayden, I like Phil Kessel, but I don't really like him too much anymore. But
I don't like.
there was that whole incident with David Clarkson in the preseason game when John Scott was playing for Buffalo. You know, John Scott pits on the smallest guy on the Leafs who had probably never fought before. But like Don Cherry said on Saturday, John Scott was playing not like he obviously wasn't playing too well, but like compared to like how he's played before, he wasn't playing too bad, and he was playing down in Arizona where it wasn't like he was being covered too much. So, you know, by like compared to how he's played in his whole career, he wasn't having a bad season. And then this happened, and now he's going and playing in Newfoundland, so he's probably not enjoying himself too much there as he was actually playing in the NHL. But I do think if a player like should the fans vote him? No, but the NHL allows fans to vote, so I think they have to honor their choice. However, I don't know if a player playing in the American Hockey League should be allowed to play in the NHL All-Star Game. And the other thing is for the trade, I think with being traded, you shouldn't be allowed to play in your old division or conference or whatever. That's happened in baseball a few times where someone got traded and then they weren't allowed to play because they were in the American League or National League then. But I also think that this trade did happen because of the All-Star Game, that it wasn't, whereas in baseball it was, the trade just came about on its own and had nothing to do with like trying to keep him out of the All-Star Game. So I think he shouldn't be allowed to play in he's in the other division, but the trade itself was orchestrated by the NHL. I have no doubt about that. So I think he shouldn't be allowed to play, but the trade shouldn't have happened, and he should have been able to represent the Pacific Division.
All right, Chezz, what's your opinion, bud?
Well, I agree with Kelly that the NHL should honor their betrayals with John Scott. Basically, I think they should let him play because it was fan voted, and they can't take that away. You know, honor, valor, justice. You know, like a paladin. So they got to honor that, and I think it'd be kind of dumb for them to. He at least has to play because, like, he was fan voted. I mean, next year don't do the fan vote, but if you're gonna give the people the right to vote, you gotta slot him in there somewhere. But as for where he's gonna play, I don't know. I don't really care where he plays as long as he gets in somehow. That'd be cool. And the trade was pretty dust. Montreal's trash, so I don't really care. And off to you, Hayden.
I really have to agree with everybody in a certain way. What NHL,
Especially the Montreal trash.
yeah, that's I don't know about that one, but I'm gonna have to say that John Scott being traded was very scummy of NHL to do because all the fans wanted John Scott, including Frank the Dank over there. He really wanted John Scott to be there. So
He was one of the jerks that Don Cherry was ranting about on Saturday
I'll get to
night.
that in a second.
yeah,
I'd
so
buy his jersey if he went to the All-Star Game. I'd buy the John Scott All-Star
I would
jersey.
too, as well.
Pretty cool.
Like, I don't know, it's gonna bring a lot of people to the All-Star Game. Nobody really cares about the All-Star Game.
Everyone
But
would
now
buy
everyone's
John
like, oh, it's John Scott. This is interesting. So that's just my opinion. I feel like John Scott should be in the game.
Yeah, so me personally, I voted for John Scott 10 times every day. So I casted a lot of votes, about 10 times 38. That's like, what, 300 votes right there for John Scott. I also voted for Brad Marchand on every one of those ballots too, just so you know, and Rob Scuderi. So I did vote in a lot of Plugs and Marchand.
Didn't you
But tried to,
vote
like,
for
balance
Reeves
out.
as well?
So yeah, I did, because I wanted the goons to go, and it's not because I wanted to ruin it, because I mean, the players already make a joke about it, but
Honestly, yeah.
later on, like John Scott said, he would want to go because he thought that, you know, he's grinded out a career in the league, and he did. And then now that they traded him and everything, it's kind of showing that they don't care about him, so to speak. If you watch the documentary about Derek Bugard, and you see all what they got to go through, like the fighters getting punched in the head, and then they get like a concussion every night. Basically, they get punched in the head, they get head trauma, but they still play. You think that since that happens to John Scott, because the man fights a fair bit. He should get recognized for that, and because he was voted in, he should go. It has happened before that I think it's Bernie Nichols was one, and Sandis Ozelinch. Mind you, I've never heard of those two guys. It's kind of like John Scott.
Bernie Nichols.
No one in 10 years will know who John Scott is, but he should be able to go. They got traded right before the All-Star game and still played for their old teams because they were voted an All-Star on the old team. So I think, same thing should happen there. They should let him go and let him play. Just give her.
You're saying play for the Atlantic or for like
The
the Pacific Division then?
should still be the captain. Yeah.
Well, we don't want him on our team.
If he was playing, honestly, they should say, Subban, step down, let John Scott take it, or Yager, because Yager's old and doesn't want to play already. Yager steps down and lets John Scott take it.
That's another thing we could talk about is Jaromir Jagr. Like, if he was to opt out of the All-Star game, what do you think the repercussions are? Because I know they've been changing, because when Crosby and Malkin used to do it, they usually just sit out a game or they'd be suspended a game.
Yeah,
So
there's no set rule, but there is the precedent of the one game. Not necessarily suspension, but like if you're hurt this day, like you can't all of a sudden be better the next day. So
okay,
essentially, it's not a rule, but it's a precedent in the fact that it's happened every time where you're suspended for it. Now, but the other thing I'm kind of interested about is they're saying McDavid out until after the All-Star game. So not that, I guess he wasn't named to the All-Star game, but could you suspend McDavid for the first game back? Because I guess he wasn't named to the All-Star game.
He was not an All-Star, so.
I personally think that even if he was, or he had played more time, I don't think the NHL would have done it because, first of all, McDavid's he's the new
That's
ball.
the thing I'm saying.
That
Like, obviously, it's not like if Yager doesn't go, he's not because he's hurt; it's because he doesn't want to go. Whereas McDavid is actually hurt.
And that's where
it's also because Yager's an old man.
Would you think that the NHL would reprimand Yager either? Because I mean, he's also another thing that's so big right now they can't even. They don't want to damage his image, whether it's one game or whatever. But
I feel like they should do the same thing for every player who backs out the All-Star game.
Have the rule actually in stone, not just have like this precedent rule that's sometimes enforced.
Yeah,
that's so Kelly.
Laughing about
Kelly's camera like fell.
I hit the computer a little bit there.
It pulled a Scott Hartnell just. So, are there any final thoughts on
Flyers?
John Scott?
Not really. I don't think.
Shouldn't have been there in the first place, but he got in.
It probably should have been Max Domi or Shane Doan. I mean, I could see Shane Doan loved in Arizona, and I think he'd be the one that'd be voted. And even if it wasn't Domi or both of them went.
And if you think John Scott should go, sign the petition. It's already got like over 6,000 signatures. Frank right here signed it. Same with Mark Mathot that'll be on here later at some point. He also signed it. People want to see John Scott. Send him to the All-Star game. Sign the petition.
Hashtag free John Scott.
Yeah, use that hashtag.
Don't use that hashtag. Hashtag plug squad. Use that.
All right. So next thing. So it is the kind of the middle of the season, I guess. About some teams have played like 46 games. Others played like 43, 44. So like halfway through, a little over halfway. So at this point. This is time. This is this point in time. So at this point in time, what are you surprised about in terms of teams that are playing like garbage or teams that are playing well? And who do you think will make the playoffs? That is either there or not. That isn't there right now. It's outside the playoff picture that'll be in, or that's already in. That'll kind of miss it. So,
okay.
Braden, what you go first?
I'll give it a go. I may as well talk. I'll talk about my favorite team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. And a lot of people coming in the season were like, we don't expect everything. I mean, where's Phil Kessel? He's gone. I think the trade was a good trade. We got some good players back. Kessel's not really performing, I guess, what they thought he'd be this year. Like, everyone's like, 50-goal scorer with Crosby. Didn't happen. Anyways, I think I personally think that the Leafs are having the ideal season. And you know what? Here's the reality. They only have three more regulation losses than the Montreal Canadiens. Just put that into perspective. And guess what? The Leafs are still in the bottom 5, and they're still going to get a bottom 5 pick. Like, you got to look at this. The Leafs are playing great. They're outshooting most of their opponents. James Reimer has been sensational. No matter what everyone says about him, he's been sensational. Bernier, he's been heating up, although he's struggles with consistency. He's not the goalie that I think everyone thought he was going to be when they brought him in. But I think the Leafs, they're doing the perfect thing. I mean, JVR is out now, which is really, really sucks for him and for the Leafs fans. But, I mean, we're still playing good, but we're losing. So I don't know. It could be worse, that we're just playing terrible and we are terrible, which is reality. But the reality is they're playing pretty good. You be quiet. The Bruins are terrible.
You can't say anything about the Bruins.
Don't forget Mike Babcock.
Okay, but that's
emphasis on the. Never mind.
He's definitely changing them. I mean, the Leafs are still missing some key players.
The Leafs are doing what everyone expected them to do.
The Leafs would have tied the Bruins the other night if Morgan Rielly had found the right helmet and Martin Marincin. I mean, I don't like Marincin.
Or if Scott Harrington had jumped on, then it would have been okay, probably.
I think Scott Harrington should be with the Leafs. He played those first 15 games, but Martin Marincin, he gives away the puck a lot. He's a big guy and he can make big moves, but he gives away the puck a lot. Like
basically John Scott.
I'm talking more than Phaneuf in the Randy Carlyle area. I'm talking seriously.
Wasn't he on Edmonton before?
He was, and all the Oilers fans always talked about how good he was until they got rid of him, and then they trashed him. So
but yeah, if you're not a good defenseman on Edmonton, you're not going to be a good defenseman.
Well, yeah, Edmonton doesn't have good defensemen, so except for Nurse. Nurse is he's going to be one of the best in the league.
And Griffin Reinhart,
yeah, he's on his way.
Of course, you say that because he's an ex.
He's a late developer.
I think they all.
He'll be like a top 4 best.
So, Kelly, what about you, bud?
Yeah, I'll talk about Montreal a little bit.
Wow,
because obviously, they last year did pretty well. They got far in the playoffs. In the last few years, they consistently competed, being the top of the Eastern Conference and going relatively deep in the playoffs. But obviously this year, Carey Price has been out for a while and doesn't seem to be coming back anytime soon. And against New York, Carey Price got hurt in that first game in the conference final 2-3 years ago, and that basically ended the series for them. So you usually don't like to think that one team, one player would make that big a difference. And for most teams, losing one player, as much as it would hurt them, is not going to take them from first place to 8th place. But basically for Montreal, that's what's happened, where they were competing for first in the division, probably the President's Trophy as well. They were competing for that. And now I just checked I think they're 8th or 7th place. They're with Boston, the 2 wild card spots, and basically, like Braden said, they have some two less losses than Toronto. It's unless Price comes back and they can really turn around, it's realistic that they could miss the playoffs. Which, considering they basically have the same team as last year, it's that Price is hurt. So I'm surprised. Obviously, Price is arguably the best goalie in the league, but I'm surprised that he was that big a factor on the team, that losing him alone and everyone else playing well. Pat Chiaretti's gotten better. Subban's not playing terrible, even for Subban.
Don't call him Subban, please.
Well, they did acquire all-star forward John Scott.
Maybe he'll make that fourth line even better. But yeah, so that's basically Montreal. If I don't know how much longer Price will be out. If he comes back, they'll probably be able to sneak into one of the wild card slots or maybe a 3rd place in Atlantic. But if he stays out for a while, I think they'll either finish 8th or miss the playoffs. And yeah, so I'm pretty surprised that that one player, I guess, goaltender's a pretty big player in your team, but I was surprised that one player can basically take them from first to out of the playoffs. And I'll pass it on to Chezz now.
All right, so
Chezz, what are your thoughts?
What was this friggin' question here that was going on?
Well, basically pick a team.
Season outlook and stuff.
I think I know what Chezz could address. He should address maybe the New York. What do you call it? The attendance record in New York. What do you think about that? The Brooklyn Islanders, as you called them. What do you think about that?
Tabling that thought, Braden. Thanks for asking. Not going to get to that today. But
Braden, it's not their fault. The arena's
things-
not set up for
back
hockey.
to more important things
It
here.
doesn't matter. They're still hockey fans. New York.
Washington is probably going to win the Presidents because
Yeah.
them Chicago and Dallas are pretty OP. Because Chicago's got them young guys. Dallas
What
just
about
stocked
Florida?
up with Sharp and all them. Florida, great team. Not going to win the Presidents though.
No
You mean
way.
they have Luongo?
Good mix
There's
of
no
vets
way
like
Florida's going
Luongo
to
and
win.
Yogs.
Stop.
They need a
But,
good
uh,
goal.
And they have
Luongo.
Lawson Krause waiting in the
And,
wings.
They got some young guys there. So you never know. But back to the attendance record there. Yeah, pretty obvious why it's low. They sold out. I think that last Vancouver game they sold out for the 5th time this season, which was pretty nice. But
5 of like 45.
in the Coliseum, they were like
Sorry,
they
20
sold
sound
out
like
like
that's-
almost every single season or almost every single game last season.
Yeah, because
And,
New Yorkers don't want to drive 20 minutes.
Yeah, and
I'm
it's
totally
in Brooklyn, so it's basically like a whole new market in a different area. So it's a lot more difficult. Like it's like it's not that far away, but it's like a totally different area. So like in Brooklyn, they're all like basketball watching people's there. So
The
you know,
Brooklyn
I
Nets
don't know.
get good attendance at the same building.
There you go. But the Islanders don't because they're in Brooklyn and no one's it's like a not really
It's not a
team
traditional
moving, right?
hockey
And
market.
team is brand new there
Exactly.
too, so you can't really.
That's
expect
very
anything
true, and it's their
crazy.
first season.
Yeah.
So but anyways, I think it's been pretty good this season. I have a couple questions, but I'll wait till Haydogs pass the torch over to Haydogs for his answer there.
All right, so I really want to talk about Tenorti, with the John Scott trade and everything. The reason why is because I really feel like they're pulling Ottawa Senators here and getting rid of Zdeno Chara from the Montreal Canadiens. The exact same situation as what Chara was, and they're like, "Oh, Chara's bad." They're like, "Chara's bad." They put him to Boston, and now he's
That's-
freaking captain for the team. And then freaking Tenorti, he's like 22 years old, and they're still like, "Hey, you know what? He's shit. So let's get rid of him." And I don't agree with that at all. I'm gonna bleep that out. So stop. Okay. And I just don't agree with that at all. And I know you guys are gonna disagree with me, but I think Tenorti could be something. So
Hayden, Zdeno Chara didn't re-sign because it was a money issue, actually,
I never
with Ottawa. He was never traded. He signed with Boston.
okay, well that
And that was beautiful.
of course,
So
of course,
yeah.
I screw up in some way.
Maybe
Well-
Chezz, maybe that was the official story, but maybe there was a little more to it that wasn't reported. Maybe that's what Hayden's trying to get at.
like there was a trade that we don't know about.
No,
Like
maybe
if the Ottawa Senators really cared about Zdeno Chara, they would have signed him.
yeah, maybe
Yeah, but a young defenseman, unproven for like
Once
he was
again,
probably-
same thing as Tenorti. Same exact thing.
Tenorti's pretty
un-
trash.
No, he's not. He has
When
so
was
much
he drafted?
potential.
What round did he go in? What year?
First round.
Minority was
I
like
think
first
it's
round, 22nd overall or something.
It-
in 2010.
That's interesting.
Well,
So he had potential.
for me, as I said, I'm a fan of the Bruins. I am very, very happy with their play this year, even though they've not been playing well. Because they've got AHL defensemen. Some of them are too bad for the AHL. Like, sorry, Joe Morrow, pretty dust. They traded Joe Morrow. They got him in the Tyler Seguin deal, which we're not going to talk about at this time.
Yeah, can we not?
But,
Please, I'll mess up.
Yeah, when they traded, they got Erickson, Morrow, Smith, and Matt Frazier. Matt Frazier left. Riley Smith got traded. Erickson's like, okay, but Joe Morrow's just dust. He was supposed to be some really good offensive defenseman who has like 3 goals or something in his career. He can still turn it around, hopefully. I'm hoping. But guys like Torrey the Giant Krug, Zdeno the short man Chara, they've really been holding the fort, so to speak, on defense. Rask started playing a lot better. He used to be dust at the beginning of the year. I dropped him in fantasy, and then he turned it around, of course.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. And then, basically the reason they've been winning is they've become... I'm not going to say they became as good as Tampa Bay was last year, but they have the same mentality of defensemen that you don't really care about. Only like 2 or 3 of them are good. and then you just have like lines of people who can score, and then a goalie is pretty good, and then you just try and outscore the other team. And then it's working somewhat because they're in a playoff spot.
They're higher than Montreal.
Yeah, they are, which I am extremely happy about.
All
But
right.
I think they're only ahead by 1 point, though, aren't they?
Who is?
yeah, 1
games in
point's
hand.
as good as 100 points.
Well,
It's a
they have
league.
2 games in hand, too, so...
So
Yeah.
make it 5 points. So Braden wanted to address something about Jets.
Yes. But before that, actually, I'd like to correct something I said earlier. I listed Montreal as having having 3 less regulation losses than the Leafs. Actually, they have 19 regulation losses. Meanwhile, the Leafs have 20. So that's even more of like a kick in the nuts right there. I'm telling you.
Kick in the scrot, if you will.
Well, you didn't have to take it that verbal, but anyways, next we could talk about Winnipeg Jets. Of course, they came to Winnipeg in 2011 when they moved from Atlanta. The premise of that would be selling out the 13,000 tickets in advance, which sold out in 7 minutes, which the NHL was really happy with. So anyways, they got their team, they got their fans, and they've been 100% sellout for the last 3 years, except this year. About a week or two ago,
About a week ago.
there was about 200 unsold seats in the rink, which is not a lot. Because, I mean, if you're in New York, that'd be like 8,000 unsold seats. But
Basically.
the 200 unsold seats in Winnipeg is very concerning because there's another 400 and almost actually 500 seats that were on ticket exchange, meaning no people weren't taking them and weren't using them at the games. So basically there was like 700 empty seats around there. And that's really concerning because, I mean, the NHL only moved the team there because they knew it would do well. But now people aren't buying. Winnipeg, a really rich hockey environment, is now becoming the Toronto Maple Leafs. In reason,
Oh, no.
they're better. They're better. But
Yeah,
the
they're
money,
better, definitely. 100%.
the tickets are expensive. I saw an ad yesterday for a St. Louis Blues game. The best ticket you can get in the house, right along the glass, $99, all inclusive. Like, that's insane. You're going to Toronto, you're spending $600 on that exact same ticket. Winnipeg, I imagine it's somewhere near there too.
The Jets were, I believe, I don't know if this might have changed to try to get the ticket sales back up, but a year or two ago, they had the 3rd most expensive average ticket behind Toronto and Chicago. And Toronto, obviously, because they sell out. Like, I think there was one game that wasn't sold out last year, and that was like the first one in like 10 years. Chicago, just because they're so successful, they can charge more and people will go. And then Winnipeg, because they had those fans that for 3 years would sell it out. But
A team can only be bad for so long before people say, I give up, I'm going to become a fan of someone good. And then you're going to see the same thing with Toronto if they don't become better. The fans will leave. They will not
strongly
go to the
disagree.
games.
I
don't
strongly
think so.
disagree.
They
Half
want
of Leafs fans
teams to
aren't
win.
the brightest, and they'll just keep going.
Well, I'm not going to
Yeah, I keep cheering for it. I could have changed I should have changed teams like 10 years ago, but I
But to
didn't.
who would you change, though, Braden?
Who? I probably would have picked Calgary, even though they were pretty bad then too. They were on the up
You
end.
could have
They're on
had
the
a
up
good
end.
team like Boston.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go and pick another original 6. You can't just do that.
right,
I
Hayden, you
did.
can't just do that.
My
Says the
bad,
guy with all
did.
this stuff.
Ask Hayden, you almost gave up on the Leafs, right?
Yeah, I actually did
Almost
give up on
did.
the Leafs.
He was cheering for Montreal in the playoffs.
That I said it every time. Everyone was like, "Actually, no. What team do you actually like?" I cheer for Montreal in the playoffs because the Leafs were not in the playoffs like every freaking year. So I cheer for the Montreal Canadiens because they're Canadian. So that's my opinion.
Well,
That's pretty
And
tough,
also,
dude.
I want to show off my new Pokemon card, Blaziken. Dang,
Oh my
that's a
God.
nice
It's a pretty
card.
sick
right there.
card, dude.
I know.
What's the
dude.
HP on that?
110.
What does it moves?
Jet shoot. It does 80 damage. It takes 1 fire and 1
I've never
normal.
played Pokemon before,
energy.
so I have no clue what you're talking about.
All
Okay,
right.
Except on the little Nintendo Game Boy things. Those were pretty
Frankie,
cool.
would you mind if I interjected and asked a question since it's mid-season and I feel it's very valid?
Yeah, mid-season stuff. That's what we're
Yeah,
talking about.
Okay, so what I was thinking predictions for each trophy. Since it's mid-season, it's like the perfect time to predict.
Oh,
Do you
value.
want to do that?
That's
I have a
great
whole
idea.
list of the trophies right here, okay? So we're going to start. So the first one is the James Norris, which is awarded to, let me read the description, awarded to the defensive player who demonstrates throughout the season the greatness, all-around ability in the position. Hayden, who's going to win the Norris?
You had the best head nod there, Hayden. You get to name him.
That's interesting. Before I come up with my opinion of who it is, because I am horrible at following the season. Because some people give me some names if I can come in my head, because I can't think of anybody at the top of my head at the moment.
Yes, reassure the people.
All right, Hayden, we'll come back to you
Reassure
then,
the
buddy. We'll come back to you.
I want you to name some
Is the
names,
question
and
the
then I'll give my
Norris? Is that what we're talking about? The
opinion.
Norris?
The Norris, yeah.
Okay. A player who came back from a pretty serious injury not long ago. A guy who deservedly is probably the best defenseman in the NHL, along with Shea Weber and Duncan Keith.
And
Erik
Dion
Karlsson. Eric, yes,
That was my first
Erik
name that came to my head, to be
Karlsson.
honest.
He has to win. I mean, this guy is fourth in points. This guy's a defenseman, fourth in points. Like, it's just insane. This guy had a crazy injury. People say he's not skating the way he was, but he still has almost 50 points as a defenseman with the Ottawa Senators.
What about Mark
He's my
Mathon,
Norris.
though?
He's my Norris. Even if he didn't even play another game this season, he's going to win the Norris.
Okay, Kelly, you want to go?
Yeah, I think there's a few people deserving, but I'm gonna agree with Braden. Where considering what Karlsson's gone through, I think he's most deserving. I mean, he's leading all defensemen in assists. He's leading them in points. He's like in the top 10 for goals, defensemen. So, there's a few other people disturbing. Probably Subban won't win it again, but there's a few other people who you could make a good case for, and I think wouldn't be upset if they won. But if I had to pick one, I think Karlsson, even though he plays for the Sens, I think at least right now he's most deserving. I think I'll disagree with Braden in the sense that I think we have to wait for the second half and see how he does there.
All right.
Now, I would say Karlsson because he is doing well. Since everyone else seems to be saying Karlsson, I will pick someone else. So I would say I'd pick a different defenseman who I also have on my fantasy team. I think that John Klingberg can win the Norris Trophy.
God. Stop
because
it.
he is right here. 32 assists, 6 goals for 38 points in 46 games. As a second-year defenseman, he's anchoring the Stars defense. The Stars defense is one of the dustier defensive cores in the entire league, and he's still got, their defensemen. They've got Jordy Ben, Jason Demers, Goligoski, Klingberg, Jyrki Jokipaka, Nemeth Oduya, and Alexiak. So Klingberg doesn't have a lot of defensemen to play with. Karlsson, they have a thought there. He can go do whatever he wants, and then he can get back and play whatever.
Would you say
Klingberg
that maybe Klingberg's power play numbers maybe contribute to that? I mean, he's got Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin, who are
I was
probably
just
going
going
to
to say that. Because
9 of the 10 times. Or out of those 30-some assists, every time he passes the puck up, Jamie Benn just goes through the whole team and slots one in, or Seguin just dangles the...
Ottawa has an overrated Bobby Ryan and
very
Stone
overrated.
and Hoffman. Who
Mind you, though, I am saying Klingberg because you all picked Karlsson, so I'd be different. My finals, though, it's going to be 3 guys. Mind you, all have them. I have all these guys on my fantasy team, too. Karlsson, Klingberg, Burns are going to be the finalists for the Norris Trophy. Burns,
I like Burns, too.
Yeah, Burns has a
Burns
chance
could be there.
there.
Yeah.
My pick,
Oh.
Karlsson. Obvious reasons. Hayden, what's your pick?
Karlsson, because it was the first one in my head. Honestly, I was like Karlsson, but I just couldn't think of any other defenseman around that. Karlsson just because he's awesome every year, so I'm just expecting him to be great this year. For the rest
This
of the
one's a tough one. Vezina. Now, normally you'd think Carey Price, but he's been injured for quite a while, so I mean, that's got to play in to let other goalies creep their way in. So, what other than Braden, you can start us off with that one.
I had the person.
Oh, that's
give
okay.
her. Give her. Hey, now you give her.
Okay,
Pick.
Braden Holtby.
I'm going to second that and agree.
That's pretty. You know what? He's been freaking nailing it this year. Like last year, I don't know. He didn't really show up as much as this year. So this year, he's definitely shown up for the team. As Washington is now the best team in the league, which is incredible. They haven't been this good, and probably the whole time Washington's been a thing. So.
Kelly?
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think, Washington, they've always been somewhat good, but then they've just not made it to the playoffs. But this year, they actually look like a real contender, and I think Ovechkin's playing a lot better, and we'll probably talk about him later when we talk about some of the other awards. But definitely Hopey.
Speak English.
Holtby holds the fort.
Yeah,
Hold me.
I'd say
Braden
Holtby as
deserves
well.
it.
Holtby has good stat line, his goals
Holtby.
against and other related paraphernalia. But if someone else were to win other than Holtby, I think Corey Crawford could win this year. He has 6 shutouts compared to Holtby's 2. He's only behind by 3 wins. And yeah, this whole winning streak that Chicago's been on of, I think it's 10 games now, something, 10 or 11, he has been unreal. So Crawford, but if Crawford doesn't win, Holtby, if Holtby doesn't win, Crawford is my pick. What about you, Shay?
I'd second that.
I'm gonna have to say James Reimer because
Might as well leave now.
.934 save percentage and 2.03 goals against. Pretty value.
It'd be insane if he won. That'd be ridiculous.
Bob McKenzie did his quarter season review awards, which he usually does. I believe he did them last year too. What he did was he took who he would give all the trophies to and named the top 3 players for each. And this was about 20 games into the season. So on his Vezina Trophy nomination, he put James Reimer. Okay. For the reason that his statistics are just out the roof. I mean, he's only got an equal record at 7-7. 7 wins, 7 regulation losses. But, I mean, the guy's second in save percentage, and I believe he's 5th in goals against, which is just unreal because, I mean, he plays for the Leafs. So put that into perspective, too. When the Leafs have all these defensemen that are offensively minded, say Riley, Gardner, Phaneuf, and Morenchen, who gives up the puck a lot.
Morenchen generates offense for the other team.
That way.
Basically, I was just joking. I said Braden Holtby. Anyways, so what about the William M. Jennings, which is awarded to the goalkeeper (S) have played a minimum of 25 games for the team with the fewest goals scored against it?
Reimer. That's
Probably
honest. That's completely honest. I would say Reimer. That makes a lot of sense.
Reimer's played in 21 games so far, and those stats are from NHL.com. Even if he plays 4 more games, this guy faces a ton of shots a game, and he usually saves most of them. His last 2 games weren't.
Hope he saved most of them
with low shots against. But he's probably gonna win it. I mean,
How many games has Price played?
I'll look that up for you.
He's obviously been playing more in the season, but I mean, I feel like Price could be good with goals against average. Could be another.
It depends on how he comes back from the injury.
That's true. Yeah, he could recover it like he did last time, which was a couple months ago, where he got injured instantly.
God, but you never know.
He's actually only played 12.
Price has played 12 games.
He got hurt pretty quickly.
Yeah.
He's been hurt twice. The man's falling apart.
What?
All still blames Chris Kreider, probably.
That's it. So I don't think he's eligible to win, actually, because you have to play a minimum of 25 games.
Yeah, well, there's
for the William Jennings,
30 more games to go, and he's coming back.
He has to come back pretty quick and start all of them.
I heard he's supposed to come back very soon.
Well, I guess not all of them, but
have to change. Yeah,
he's played 12 games. He had 10 wins, 2 losses.
Damn it.
I'll say either Quick Crawford or Reimer for that one. All 3 of those guys are pretty. All those guys are definitely going to be probably nominated. At least 2 of them, probably.
So wait, was this award? Is it a voting one, or is it just whoever has the lowest goals against?
I'm pretty sure it's just you just win.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like the Maurice Richard, whatever. It's just.
Although I think Holtby still has. I think he has the fewest goals against. I'll check. I'm pretty sure Holtby does.
Which I mean, check because it doesn't necessarily factor in the 25 games.
But he's played.
So
he's played 37.
Gary Sparks has a really good goals against.
He's played 37. No, Kelly.
I'm gonna throw something in.
I'm not gonna count Chris Drieger, who has 0 goals against and he has 1 game played. So.
But yeah, you don't count those guys.
So.
I want to throw something in after Chezz because he's been throwing a few things. This only came to light today. Lots of rumors going around, trade rumors at the midseason, that Jonathan Drouin might land in Montreal. Now, Habs fans are losing their mind because they believe that Tampa Bay's asking price would be Nathan Beaulieu, who they think is going to be an all-star defenseman.
No, Beaulieu's
I
good.
don't think he's going to be.
like Beaulieu.
He's going to be top 6. He's going to be an NHLer, but he's not going to be an all-star by any measure.
No.
Meanwhile, I think Drouin still has a chance because it's a potential, but I think he's only like 19 or 20, so he's got the time. Anyways, one of those two players that they believe that the Bolts want is Alex Galchenyuk or Nathan Beaulieu. Now, I don't think Galchenyuk is very, very good player. He's very valuable, and he's becoming one of the best stars in the game, especially on Montreal.
Yeah.
I think that's a good trade. Like,
No, I wouldn't do that.
there had to be other things with it, though. It can't just
Yeah.
be. I don't think it can be 1-for-1. It's nothing like the
There's
Johansson
no way that could be 1-for-1.
and Jones deal. It has to be something else. Because, I mean, I think Drouin's good, but he hasn't proven himself. And
No.
whether it's the coach or whether it's just him, I think you can't blame the guy yet.
Well-
Because clearly there's something wrong. I don't think Stamkos, I'll bring it up, I don't think Stamkos likes John Cooper, and I don't think Drouin likes John Cooper. So I think they need to can the coach, although they just re-signed him. I think you need to can the coach. Anyways,
You want to hear my theory? Well, first of all, Montreal overvalues their players, so they'll be like, "We'll trade you Weiss because he's good." Weiss is a dirtbag. He's
when he scores goals, he's a dirtbag that scores goals.
He does score goals.
Drouin will go to whoever gives the most stuff. Montreal overvalues their players; they're not going to give out the most stuff. But my theory on why he wants to leave is if you look at the team as a whole, say this little circle here is the team. If you divide it in half, the top half is the top 2 lines. Drouin is not in that half; he's in the second half because they have the triplet line of Kucherov, Palat, Johnson. There's one line, so he's not going to make that line.
Oh.
Then they have Stamkos, Callahan, Killorn, and then Philpott is kind of on that line. They tried Drouin up there, but he didn't really fit. So the only other spot to put him is the 3rd line or the 4th line. So Drouin is same thing happened with Connolly. Connolly played for them. Mind you, Connolly's dust, but he played for them, and Kelly's just writing a novel there. He played for them and had to go 4th line all the time because the team had too much offense. So yeah, he wants out where he can play somewhere top line.
That's I have to agree with that as well.
Yeah, and in my opinion, Stamkos is not going to leave Tampa Bay. He will re-sign. They don't know the cap yet. It is going up. They don't know how much. So if you're going to sign the
It
guy,
might stay the same though,
Yeah,
You
I
don't-
might stay the same.
because the Canadian dollars
It's not been good.
taking a dump.
you don't want to do
I
something
saw-
stupid like LA and sign a guy for $14 million next year where you don't know how much money you might have. So
No, I
if
think
they're
that was a
waiting,
good deal.
but
It
also
goes down.
they have if they did have what was I just about to say? I had something good in my head. Oh yeah, if Stamkos does not re-sign, he will not just walk. He will be traded.
Yeah, he's gonna walk. He's gonna walk.
He won't.
There's no
walk.
way that the trade's
will be
not gonna
traded.
happen.
Why would they let?
I don't think the trade's gonna happen.
Does he have a no trade?
Yeah, but
He
I'm
does.
sure if they said, I'm sure if they
He does
said,
have a no trade.
Like
Sure,
a
if they
full,
said-
like a full no trade, not like
Yes, no trade. Like it has to be him who says I'll go. And although there's rumors out there saying it's not gonna be a Canadian team, it'll probably be a team like Calgary or Toronto, a team that's like they're trying to work their way back in, like to be relevant. I guess you could say they're relevant, but they want to be one of those top teams. And I think both teams could benefit from having a player like him. I think any team could, even though the contract is like the max, you could say. I think it'd be
Yeah.
worth
But
it.
it's not like the Leafs
Well-
are paying anyone the match. Right?
You see-
They don't have like they don't have
Oh,
someone right now.
Well,
you
yes.
see, Stamkos wants to go to a team that would have a chance of getting better. Toronto getting better is like trying to
no,
toboggan up a hill.
no.
It's not gonna happen.
I've been told. I've been
But-
told that Stamkos would not want to go to a team that is just there to win the cup. He does not want to be a rental. He doesn't want to go to Chicago for like 2 months, 3 months, and just win a cup and move on. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want to be a rental. He wants to be part of something.
Monster.
Part
And
of
the
that would be
people saying who Stamkos won't come to Toronto were the same ones 1 year ago were saying that Babcock would never come to Toronto.
Even Bob McKenzie said, "Oh, Babcock's not coming to Toronto," and look, it happened like hours later.
All right, well, you Leafs homers. Chezz, will he go to Toronto?
I don't think he's going to be re-signed because I feel like I don't know. Tampa Bay had a lot of problems like with
Do you
St.
think-
Louis. He left. Duran wants to trade.
St. Louis left
Stamkos
because
is
he
getting
didn't
fed
get on
up.
Team Canada.
Do you think he'll walk, but not to
Yeah, but they
Toronto?
didn't let him be on Team Canada. I think. I don't know at this point. Maybe he'll walk. I don't know. I think he would want to go to Toronto. To be honest, I think he'd want to.
Yeah,
Make
he would want to. For sure.
so much. He'd make ridiculous amounts of money if he went to
He could,
Toronto.
he could be their next Castle, where
Okay,
they
you
don't
can't
win
say
and they blame
Castle.
him and then he gets traded.
Then Hayden will have
Okay.
his jersey.
Hey,
What about-
speaking-
I'll still have his jersey. So
Chezz, you're a fan of New York, the Islanders version.
can you not do that, Chezz? I'm just gonna block out your face for that saying.
Because you're a fan of
Ouch.
New York, the Islanders version. I don't think he will be traded, but do you think Hamonic will be traded by the end of the year or not?
Maybe it depends how good Pellick's been doing really well. He's just a young guy who they had to bring up because Boychuk and Hamonic are injured. I think Pellick's doing really well, and they have a lot of young defensemen who are pretty good. And
I personally think Hamonic's gone.
I know.
I think Hamonic's this season maybe, but
I think he's gone.
he won't be back next season. I know that. Like
Hamonic?
either the off season or during the season, but he's like a pretty good player. I don't know. They'd want equal value, and like, I mean, it's not like he wants to leave because it's like Drouin. It's like he's just like fed up. It's for like family issues, but it's like he signed a contract. It's like it's like if they didn't want to trade him, he'd stay. But like they're obviously going to. But yeah, I don't know. Also, Oposo is going to be a UFA, so I don't know what's going on there. So there's a lot of things going on there.
Do you think?
The ideal?
Maybe I hope they deal both of them, because I've been hearing a lot of things that like Hamonic for another defenseman might not work out. They want to trade that. A lot of teams want to give a forward for him, so that can be fine if they can get something in the realm of a defenseman for a Poso or something. Maybe like that. I don't know how that would work, but maybe. But
Dustin Bufflin, maybe? Like,
I don't want
the
Dustin Bufflin
package.
because he's the same Oposo thing. He's gonna be if he comes guaranteed with a contract that's not gonna be terrible, then yeah, maybe.
I say, Boston trades, gets Bufflin, they put him on a line with Chara, and then they become known as the extermination line, and they go out on the ice to exterminate the other players. I think that is a
make
real
dirty
possibility.
hits and gang up on little guys, and yes, that
No,
sounds
sorry, their
very
name
Boston-ish.
isn't that would be the Nazem Kadri line.
No,
be a
Nazem
lineup.
Kadri hasn't done anything dirty.
Kadri is a little guy. It's kind of hard for
He's
him
got
to
a
pick
few
up.
slew foots, but he's never been suspended, and they weren't bad.
Just a few slew foot. He's
Just
not
like
clean
Marchand.
Marchand.
Except
Yeah,
Marchand
like
actually got
Marchand.
suspended for them.
Marchand was clipping, which he gave like a guy a concussion for. He almost ended his career.
Almost.
Okay, boys, can
Yeah.
we move to the next trophy?
Okay,
almost.
next trophy.
Just sec.
Oh my God,
Marchand
here we go.
says that you can take a
Trying.
nice long suck on his giant cup. So
Okay, I'm gonna edit that, and we're gonna get
Okay.
the next trophy.
Okay, speaking of coaches, the Jack Adams. This one is awarded to the NHL coach, adjusted to have contributed the most to his team's success by the NHL Broadcasters Association. And I'll do my take real fast. Probably going to be Florida's coach, whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
Or,
Well,
Yeah.
that's
yeah, not Dale Talon. Florida's coach would be a good one. Anaheim's, psych, not Anaheim's, take that back. I mean, you could say Babcock because
They're just gonna
Oh,
throw.
no,
They're gonna
Toronto's
throw
too
Babcock
nuts.
with
you
everything.
could say Babcock in there.
They're gonna throw
What
Babcock
would you
in there.
even?
They might throw
What if-
Ted Lindsay? Is that his name? The Dallas one?
Yeah, I was just
Lindsay.
gonna say.
Oh, Lindy Ruff. Ted
Ted
Lindsay.
Lindsay's
Yeah,
the
from
trophy.
Dallas. Yeah,
Yeah, they
I-
both sound the same.
my
it'll
pick
be
was
or
Dallas
it'll be
one.
Lee Ruff
so.
or Quenneville. Quenneville could be in there as well.
Quenneville could be in there.
I said the Dallas one.
Okay. Do we need any more on that one, or are we good with that one?
I think Detroit's coach. I believe it's Blashill. Is it right? Is that right, Jeff Blashill?
Here,
I think it's
I'll Google that up for you there.
It's worth
I-
a Google search.
Jeff Blashill. I'm sure it's Jeff Blashill. Anyways, everyone's got to look at this. You take away Mike Babcock, probably the best coach in the NHL, who
Yes, it
arguably
is.
has made the Leafs a better team with his system and everything, better than Carlisle, better than Horacek, although I don't blame Horacek because he wasn't there long and he already had a mess to clean up. Blashill, Detroit is second in the Eastern Conference. Who would have thought? Who would have thought they're second in the Eastern Conference after losing their best coach they probably had, maybe in history, maybe not.
Detroit?
And they've lost
Detroit.
Duke. And they've
They're not
lost a few
second
good
in the Eastern
players.
Conference.
Yes, and Datsuk. I mean, Datsuk's missed 20-some games this year, and he's finally back.
Of course
Some
he
people-
did.
but I
He
mean-
loses like 40 games a season every
They're
season.
third, but okay.
And he's still producing, though.
Second in the division.
Of course he is.
Yeah. Okay.
Move on.
Are we good with that one?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. King Clancy. So this one's awarded to the player who best exemplifies leadership qualities on and off the ice. Made him noteworthy humanitarian contribution to his community. So this one doesn't really matter much, but
Yeah, I don't know.
This is a plug award that you just give to
this was
someone.
like Andrew Ferentz won this. I'm pretty sure
This-
the other year.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's
which
horrible.
one?
This award has to be a shoo-in. It has to be. It has to be PK Subban. $10 million. It has
yeah,
to
that's
be PK.
true.
Yeah.
Although people are saying, "Oh, like yo, look at Subban, he's so much better." But I mean, the Sedins every year they're giving away like $1 million to this, $1 million.
Yeah. They're the
and
Sedins.
They
got
don't. They
punched
go
out by
under the
Marchand.
record. Though.
Can't give them
Yeah, but
both
they're
the trophy,
Sedins.
Braden.
Yeah, let's give it to the city. Let's just be
Marchand
like,
can't afford to give away any money because he always gets fined. He gets fined money. That's what happens.
That's a dusty trophy.
just
Can we
be
move on?
like Ryan
Yeah,
Burke.
that
and be
doesn't
like
count as a
the
trophy.
Sedin
That's
twins.
basically a
No,
participation.
I have no idea who to choose
Tortorella,
for that
John
trophy.
Tortorella, save the dogs.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
Torts, he saves
This
dogs.
is the one we've all been waiting for.
Oh, God.
To Maurice. Rocket Richard. Okay.
All right, let's go.
Who's gonna win this one? You know what, Hayden? You're gonna start with this one because I want you to.
Ovechkin.
Why?
Ovechkin.
Still
Because
score the most
he's
goals.
always a top contender almost every single year.
But he's not leading in goals right now.
It doesn't matter.
He's
Two
not.
behind though.
He's what?
Patrick Kane.
What position is he
yeah.
in for
But
goal
He's
scoring?
second.
now?
He's 2 goals behind.
He's
Kane.
second. My
It'll be
point
Kane or
is
Ovechkin,
that
though.
Yeah, and Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin are both 1 point
I believe in
behind him.
Ovechkin though. Honestly, I feel like Kane is just like on a little bit of a roll, and then after the
Oh,
All-Star
yeah,
game,
40
he's just gonna,
game roll.
Half season long roll.
You know what? I'm gonna.
You know what?
Let's just-
Screw
Kane.
my opinion. You know
I'm
what?
gonna say Kane.
Screw it.
I'm gonna say
No one
Kane.
gives
I'm
a
gonna
shit
do-
about me.
Boys, I'm going for it. Kane. That's who
All
it
right,
is.
mine.
Okay, I'll shoot mine.
Oh, okay, Braden, you go first.
Am I going first?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jamie Benn, go
I'll
ahead.
go back.
The letter of your name
I'll go
is
back to
the
this
letter
house.
A of the alphabet, which is the beginning. So go.
Okay, anyways. I'll say right now. Tyler Seguin or Jamie Benn. They were really hot at the beginning of the season. It slowed down a bit, but I mean they're still producing like all-stars they are. But the end of the season, it's going to be Jamie Benn like last year again. It's going to be games where he gets like, I don't know, 4 goals. He's going to get 3 goals. He's going to have a streak where he's going to
Don't
get a ton of
remind
goals.
Chezz of
He's
that
going to be
game.
the winner again.
Passes to Barris on the last day.
That was.
I mean,
that was really,
This
Ben
is
won the-
bad.
that was really
Ben won the
unfair.
points race last
It
year.
was
in
a
the
good
last
day because
of the year.
Frankie got
It
upset.
really because it like hit his skate and then like another person picked up the puck and scored and they counted as an assist. Which
My
was
that's-
opinion,
really
that's the point.
cool.
the winner will be
Yeah,
Alex
Pomerov.
Ovechkin. No, it's gonna be Ovechkin, and that's for better reasons than Haydog of just because he's Ovechkin. Ovechkin will win the goal scoring trophy, and that's because he plays with TJ Sochi, who is
He's
just
overrated.
unreal.
He
What are
is
you talking
overrated.
about?
He's
He's
so
probably
overrated.
a little overrated.
Hey, you know who else is overrated? Nazem Kadri and
Yeah,
Bob.
Nazem
So
Kadri.
what's your point? I'm
You know what?
agreeing with you.
And so he's also with Evgeny, the Russian hitman Kuznetsov. Man, I got that guy on my fantasy team. And I mean, he rakes and assists like a farmer on an apple orchard rakes up apples. That was not a good example,
That was a
but
really bad
rakes
pun,
up
by
a
the
good
way.
portion of
Pick
those.
the apples off the tree, not rake them.
I don't know what Braden Wiley's doing, but that's okay.
Like
When an apple falls
Where
on the
did
ground,
Chezz
it gets
go?
raked up.
you should pick it before it falls on the ground.
Yeah,
Guys, where did
Ovechkin,
Chezz go? He's kind of just disappeared.
Ovechkin, unreal scorer. He's gonna win. Plus, you got to remember, last year Kane was doing pretty good, and there was a little thing called injuries, and he got hurt right at the
Yeah, but you
last
can't
year
tell
he
that
was
he's
out.
going to get injured.
He has
He-
momentum
he has
this year.
more of a
It's not
chance of
like
getting
he's going to get like an
injured
STD or something, like an STI from his girlfriend's, but
he has more of a chance of getting injured than Ovechkin. I'm gonna say
Ovechkin
Ovechkin will
doesn't get
win
you-
goal scoring trophy.
Ovechkin is getting injured too often. So.
yeah, Ovechkin
Okay.
is a tank. He's like a Kovalchuk.
Or
He's
John
extremely
Scott,
attitude.
but I'm gonna put my money on
Yeah,
Ovechkin.
okay.
He's consistent.
Komarov, he could
Are
put
we
up-
ready for the next one?
Sure.
Okay. The Art Ross, which we all know that one.
Jamie
so,
Benn.
Okay. Okay.
Stop.
I think it has to be. I think it
John
has to be
Scott.
Kane.
I have
Based
to
on,
say
like,
Kane
just,
with that one.
just he's leading in the three main points, goals, and assists. He's leading all three. Like
By a
He's
wide
also
margin.
He's also played the most games though. Like Ovi has 4 games in hand. Ben
Yeah.
has 2 or 3 games in hand. It's
Well,
I
they're going to
guess.
score 5 points each game.
but
You never know.
No, impossible.
You
That's gonna
never
happen.
know.
Didn't happen last year.
We're halfway
but,
through
No.
the season.
It'll be Patrick Kane. He's just got too much of a lead already.
Yeah.
He's gonna
and
win.
he's on like a really OP
That's
team.
respectable.
and it's like, yeah, Ovechkin hasn't played as many games, but Kane almost has 30 more points than him. That's not a 4-game difference. That's
Yeah, Braden.
better
So
than him.
Yeah, Braden.
You know
shut up.
No, don't even listen to me. Don't even listen to me. I'll just log off right now.
Okay, see ya.
All right, Chezz,
Okay.
what's the next trophy? We're getting a little tight for time here.
Yeah. I
Okay,
need to
well, there's
go
a
at
lot of
6.
really stupid ones.
No,
so
no,
I'll
do
just-
like Rookie of the Year.
Okay, well, what about the Frank J Selke though? That's named after you. You don't want to do that one.
Oh,
Got
I'll
him,
start
Taves.
this one with Patrice Bergeron. Gonna win, 100%. Patrice Bergeron's gonna win again. Selke Trophy.
He could.
It's his.
He could.
Which one's
Anze
that for?
Kopitar.
Which
It's
one?
the
No.
defensive
I don't know about that
Oh, yeah.
one.
forward.
Tyler
Anze
Bozak.
Kopitar.
Excels in both. It's supposed to be excels in both ends of the rink, is what it is. But
Okay, so whatever. It's Patrice Bergeron. Okay, so we're gonna skip the Lester B. Pearson. We'll skip. Want to do the Bud Light plus minus?
the Bud Light plus minus is
What
a
is
trophy.
that?
They should probably name that after Bobby Orr
It
because
is.
he had like the best.
It actually
one.
Tyler
Tyler
it's not
Toffoli.
awarded anymore, and neither is the Lester B. So they're not awarded anymore, so they don't really count. But if you wanted to do no, okay. So we can do the Mark Messier,
No, that's just too dust. Do
Okay,
rookie.
let's
Do
do
rookie.
rookie, yeah.
Ted Lindsay Award.
Chezz, rookie of the
Mark.
year is like the last one that we
What
have.
about the Lady Bing? We have some really important ones. Lady Bing is pretty important.
That's
Yeah,
just
but
with
it's really
sports.
hard.
That's not
That's
Really
important.
hard to do.
That's just gonna be Subban because he gave some money to kids.
Subban's the least sportsman player
Hey,
ever.
10
Whatever,
million.
Yeah, but he gave money to kids, so he'll win it.
It'll be like
No.
Shane Doan or something.
probably.
The most
No, it
random
will.
guy.
Shane Doan doesn't even
Strowman.
swear. When he
Okay,
plays.
well, we're gonna go to the most
A nice
important
guy.
one because the Calder's not as important as the heart.
Kimura Salami.
The heart. The most important.
Oh,
I'll read
gosh,
the thing.
spit it out.
Awarded to the player to be the most valuable to his team. Any ideas?
This is kind of
Artemi
different, but
Panarin.
I wanted at least like to say in the top 3, maybe Drew Doughty because he's number 1 in assists per game, and he's 3rd for time on ice, and you know 3 or was it in 2014 he almost won the Canadian Athlete of the Year. He should have. He won Stanley
He won.
Cup, World Cup, and the Olympics. So I'm not saying he should win, but I think he at least deserves to be in that top 3.
Well, if you're gonna base it on what other trophies they've won, Patrice Bergeron's won a lot more.
Okay.
But I would say Carlson is gonna win it.
I can
Then-
agree with that.
Yeah.
I can make a
That-
lot
that
of
would- he
sense.
was
Leo
gonna be my second.
Komarov, the most important player to that team.
If Ottawa didn't have forwards, it wouldn't matter because Eric Carlson would play defense and score the goals for
Well,
them.
actually,
So,
the other thing we could, if Price were to come back, I think Price could win it because look what Montreal's done once he's left. So,
That's
True.
but
pretty
he has to
true.
come back and actually play this year.
if Price came back and went 10-2 again, then
Yeah.
Could be
Yeah, it-
Kane though.
It's gonna be Carlson. He's 4th in scoring. And
Oh,
he's a
yeah.
defenseman.
Okay,
Yeah. You know
Okay,
what? It might
so-
be Kane.
on to the next one. Okay, so the Conn Smythe, which we can't do because that's the playoffs. The Bill Masterton, which is just stupid, and then the Calder.
Calder. I'll go back to Calder. Right now, people don't like it, but Artemi Panarin. He leads all rookies in points, goals, and assists. Easy. Artemi
agree.
Panarin.
I agree.
Although he's like 24 or 25 years old or whatever, he's winning it.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Well, take
Maybe
it from
Dylan
the
Larkin.
guy who has Artemi Panarin on his fantasy team. That's me.
He's going to say Kovalchuk, watch.
Kovalchev? No, Kovalchev.
Bishop's dust.
Kovalchev's garbage. I am gonna say because my neck hurts. Panarin has a lot more points, but you gotta look. He's playing alongside Kane, who is just unreal. He's already like an established player. I think Max Domi can win because he came in playing with a rookie, and Martin Hansel, both of which no one expected to do well. But Domi, he played pretty well. If it weren't for Domi and Duclair, Coyotes would not be anywhere near the
Very
playoffs.
true.
They'd be in last, and they'd be buckets o' grease. So
Maybe, but
that's
again,
a good point.
you have to look at this. I don't know. You have to look at the point spread again. There's like double-digit point spread between Domi and Panarin. I think Domi, by far, one of the greatest rookies probably this year. Definitely top 3.
Nick,
But I mean, Panarin's got 12 more points.
what's the wording of the trophy?
The Calder?
Yeah.
Oh, like the wording?
Yeah, is it most valuable?
Awarded to the player selected as the most proficient in his first year of competition in the NHL.
I think when it says proficient, then I think you have to go to the person who's leading in goals, assists, and points. Like, I think
glad one. If he wasn't leaving.
Yeah,
Domi-
that's true.
like
Mm.
Domi definitely like deserves to be in the
Steve
top
Mason
3.
won
He's
it,
doing
like,
a great year.
couple years ago.
But now that wording makes me think like you have to look at points. It can't it's not the most
Well,
valuable
goalie wins
team.
it.
Well, you can
Like
look at
Condon.
goalie stats too.
Or
But
Ekblad wins it.
The goalie categories are pretty weak. I mean, you got Hellebuyck, Condon, and Gibson. I don't think either of those 3 would win because for obvious reasons.
They're dust.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they're not standouts, I guess.
Okay. So, wait, so Panarin, what was yours, Frankie?
Domi.
Kelly?
what Braden said, I forget how to
Sounds
pronounce.
good. Hey, dog?
Yeah, that guy.
I would have to say Domi. I have to say Domi.
Yeah, Panarin.
He's
Mhm.
really
What
he's
about,
like
like,
I don't know.
Tate?
He's just in the spotlight right now, and he's
I
just
don't know.
What about Sam Bennett? Sam Bennett, he only has
No.
20 points, but I mean,
But
you look
like
at his
4 of
last
them came on one day.
few games, he's been
I've
lighting
only
it
seen
up.
him shine in one game, and that was when they played Florida, and that was it.
Or you
I'm
should
gonna
turn that
say,
Broad Match jersey around behind you.
Mm,
Should I turn around? I don't know if I can reach you with taking the headphones off.
Take
I'm
the
going to say
headphones off.
Jack Eichel.
Oh, here we
No,
go.
Jack Eichel won't win.
No, we will not.
Jack Eichel, boys.
Connor
Right, Hayden,
McDavid.
what's the time at right now, bud? For the
No.
podcast arena.
Braden, how's our
1
time?
hour and 6 minutes.
All right, so we should
Pretty
probably be wrapping her up.
I
Yeah, we
think,
should.
guys, let's wrap it up here. Let's do go around, pick who's going to win the Stanley Cup, and we'll come back in a few
That's
months.
hard.
And see how we did.
We'll do the finalists, the 2 finalists.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
let's
that's-
do that.
Okay. I need to think for a minute, so someone else go first. 'Cause I haven't thought about it.
All right, I got mine. So Chicago and Washington. So. I don't know. I always put Chicago in the final.
Oh.
Okay, but you have to say why too. So let them say why.
All right. So the reason why is because Washington is kind of like Tampa Bay last year. Just kind of came out and just like shined.
Would you say they
Eastern Conference.
smorked everyone?
And Chicago is just the most consistent team we've had in the last couple of years. 1 second. Just hold on.
Okay.
I would say though that Washington will win the cup.
No, Washington. The second
Okay.
place.
Someone else shoot.
I'll go next. I'm gonna say for the West, I'm gonna say Chicago just because the biggest competition they've had is Anaheim, and Anaheim
Yeah,
needs
what
to
are
at
the-
least get in the playoffs first. So they don't
I need to wrap
have
it up fast.
they don't pose any threat. Dallas is the only one I could see beating them, but I'm still gonna go with Chicago because they haven't given me a reason to say that they can't make it. And in the East, I'm gonna say Florida because it's a pretty weak
Florida.
division right. It's a weak division right now.
That's what I was gonna say.
Washington's doing better, but
Come on!
Washington, the playoffs just can't do it. Florida
All right, Hayden
versus
needs to go-
Chicago. Chicago will probably win it because
All right,
they're
that
too
was the
good.
most ridiculous thing I've ever
All right,
heard.
mine. LA because Chicago doesn't have the depth that they used to have. Chicago used to have unreal depth, scoring and defense. They don't have that this year. LA, I think, can win it from the West, that is. And from the East, I would say Capitals, but they seem to always choke. So, I might say Florida could do well, but I'm gonna have to
All right,
say
that's enough.
Boston's gonna go. Boston's gonna go far. Boston's gonna do it.
All right, has Nick said it yet?
I gotta
Okay,
go.
I'm gonna say
on.
I got
LA
too.
because they're OP, and Islanders probably not. Florida.
All right. So
Your
say your
2019
outros.
NHL Stanley Cup champions are the Florida Panthers.
Say your
All right.
outros, guys, please.
So, thanks for watching the podcast, Areno.
Like,
we,
subscribe.
we are the
follow on Twitter.
Oh,
That's subscribe, not
You can follow us on
please.
Twitter at at the Plug Squad. We will be posting more videos this week. We'll try to get podcasts out like Sunday, Monday around the beginning of the week. So this is being recorded on a Monday. So I think that's it. So see you guys
Jolly
next
day, guys.
So
Have a good old
long.
jolly day there, boys.